Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another One Piece review for you, specifically the Syrup Village arc. And before I go into that, I just wanted to say thank you very much to the One Piece community, the One Piece fandom, however it is you're known. I just want to say thank you very much. You guys have just embraced me. I've been getting so much just positivity and so many warm welcomes on my first One Piece video I did. So many people are just saying things like, welcome to the fandom, welcome to the community, I can't wait to see the next reviews. And I'm also getting a lot of other helpful comments. Like, for example, I said in my first One Piece review that I was getting all of my volumes through the library. And it's been about 2 weeks since I did my last One Piece review, and I'm still waiting for the next volume of One Piece that the library was meant to get to me. Luckily, someone commented, or a couple of people have commented saying, you should really be trying to read these online instead of ordering it through the library. And I am so appreciative of everyone that commented that, because I didn't even know you could read One Piece online. I thought I had to go through the library or buy it all myself, and homie, I do not have that much money. So thank you very much to everyone for just welcoming me into this community. I've really appreciated it, and I'm really looking forward to going onto this journey. Also, a couple of other people have asked, what do I think of spoilers down in the comments. Honestly, I don't mind. If you want to talk about spoilers, that's fine. The whole point of me making these videos is I'm discussing with you, and I hope that you will want to discuss with me and the other people that are watching this video. So feel free to put spoilers, as long as you obviously start your comment with spoilers and then down a couple of lines so people won't see the spoilers, or people will be forewarned that it is spoilers. And try to avoid any of the massive ones, say for example, Luffy dies on chapter 4 or something. Those are my only two rules. Put spoilers at the front of it and avoid the massive spoilers. In saying that, this will be a spoiler-filled review. I'm going to be talking about the entire Syrup Village arc in detail. Now, I did a bit of research on the Syrup Village arc after I finished it, because I just wanted to find out what other people's general thoughts and reactions were of this arc. And it turns out a lot of people are saying that this is the worst arc that One Piece has to offer. Which to me is crazy, because, spoiler, I loved it. I freaking loved this. And there's so many great storytelling elements that I'll get into. But I'm just going to play my cards and tell you that I loved this arc. And a few things caught me by surprise. One, there was a lot more character development in the villains than I was expecting. And two, the villains got a lot more villainous in this one. After you fight Buggy the Clown in the first one, I kind of got the feeling that, Luffy is a goofy guy, and he'd only really encountered other goofy people. But then he comes into this Syrup Village arc, and suddenly the main villain isn't just some goofy guy. He's this ninja, the Shredder guy that actively is trying to kill people. Not only just kill people, but he's trying to kill his own men as well. So I guess what I'm trying to get across is I wasn't expecting this story or the series or the theme of violence or villainy. I wasn't expecting it to ramp up so quickly, but I am sincerely glad that it did, because I feel as if there is such a great feeling to this world where it's on the top of it, it's bubblegum, rainbows, everyone's kind of goofy looking. There's the guy that looks like a sheep, there's, people that look like cats, there's the guy trapped in a treasure chest, there's Luffy and all the ridiculous things he does. So there's just this overarching goofiness, but then just underneath it, there's an underlying current of serious, bad people are doing bad things. There is murder and whatever else going on. There are real bad people in this world because you are dealing with real pirates that are doing real pirate things. And I think that they just work so well together in creating an atmosphere for this story. And I want to talk a little bit more about the villain, the butler. I want to talk a little bit more about him, because for me, it really was that butler that made this story great for me, because the writer or the artist or the author, I'm not quite sure how I'm meant to refer to him, but I'm going to call him the author. He did such a great job at foreshadowing things with this butler. Like, for example, from the very first moment you meet him, when he's adjusting his glasses, he doesn't, or, like how a regular person will adjust his glasses. When they slide down his face, he goes like this. Which is really just a nothing thing, right? Like that means nothing. That has, like, it's just a little tick or a little mannerism that he has in the way that he adjusts his glasses, right? Like you read it and you're just like, oh wow, okay, cool, it's just a little mannerism, whatever. But then a little later on, you find out that the reason he has that mannerism, the reason he has that habit, is because he's so used to having these like big, long knives on the end of his fingers, and he doesn't want to impale himself in the face. And the thing is, that author had to put that foreshadowing in, right? Like, that wasn't a natural thing that came up. He had to give that butler glasses in order to include that foreshadowing, right? Like, he could have just easily not given that butler glasses, and then we would have never gotten that foreshadowing. Or even then, he could have given the butler glasses and just, like, not gotten him to adjust it the way he did. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is I did not expect the level of character work that I got from this story, especially on villains. And I have a feeling that this series is going to be doing a lot of good villain work, which fills me with joy because, honestly, I think a lot of people will agree with me that a story is really only as good as its villain, and great villains just absolutely elevate stories. Also, just a little bit more on the villain thing before I move on. I just want to say, did the butler poison Kaya? Because we find out that she gets sick right around the time that her parents die. And we know that he's responsible for his parents dying, and he has to establish himself in the community, and he establishes himself by taking care of Kaya. Did he poison her so that he could take care of her and, like, build up his reputation in the community? And then when it came time to get the will signed across to him, it would make sense because he took care of her for so long? Because her illness is never explained, right? It's just like a mystery illness. So was he poisoning her? It was never, like, formally mentioned in the story, but that's the feeling I got. And if that was the case, I'm, like, really just thoroughly impressed. Next, I want to talk about Usopp, because obviously he is the newest member of the crew, and this whole arc was kind of his introduction and his joining the crew and making it all make sense, and the crew getting a new ship in a logical way. At the beginning, I did not like Usopp, and I have a feeling that a lot of people would have that same conclusion. I have a feeling a lot of people, upon first meeting him, wouldn't like him, because for most of us, we don't really like liars. And he is introduced to us in the typical boy that cries wolf kind of way. But it doesn't take long for us to quickly find out that the reason that he is such a liar is because he is escaping his own reality and helping Kaya escape her own reality. We quickly find out that his lies are there in order to help him process his father leaving and to help him process the death of his mother. And that's why he was drawn to Kaya, because she went through the same thing. And he was passing on his gift, his way of coping with his parents leaving, to try and help her get through the same pain that he went through. Which again is another one of those points that I was not really expecting at all coming into One Piece as a whole. I was not expecting the amount of, like, emotional, just deep feeling this story would have. Like, I was, like, right in the feels more than once through this Syrup Village arc. And although I'm not the biggest fan of Usopp yet, like at the end of the arc, I'm not like, yeah, Usopp, yeah, get on board. I do have more respect for him as a character, and I do see how he could grow into somebody that I could like, but I'm still just kind of like, iffy about him. But I think one of the best moments that he has is after they defeat the pirates, Usopp asks everyone to keep it a secret. And he does that for the good of the town. He says something along the lines of, this is a small town that's, like, out of the way. There's no way any pirates are going to come and find us. And if we tell them that pirates did come and try to kill us all, then this village is just going to be on edge. It's going to have to do pirate watches. It's going to have to, like, you know, it'll just freak out all the villagers. So it's better that no one ever knows and the village can just remain relaxed and just remain peaceful. Even though if they were to tell them, Usopp would be hailed as a hero and he would be redeemed in the eyes of the town. Yet he knows that it's better for the town to never know about it. And I think that level of self-sacrifice is something that we are going to see a lot of in One Piece. And to me, it makes a lot of sense that he did join Luffy's crew, or that Luffy wanted him on his crew, which is something that some people have mentioned that they don't really understand why Usopp joined Luffy's crew or why they wanted him in the first place. But I can really see why. There's two reasons why I can see why they would want him on the crew. Firstly, he's got that attitude or that mindset of the greater good of other people comes before myself. And he's also got that I will fight for what I love kind of spirit. I will fight for the people I care about. I will fight for the things that I care about. I will fight to keep people safe. Which is something that Luffy really appreciates because he is also, you know, fighting for what he cares about. He's also fighting for his dreams. So it makes sense to me that Luffy would want Usopp because they have that same kind of mentality, that same kind of mindset of like the greater good and fighting for your dreams. I've come to like Nami a lot more in this one, and I've come to really understand her place in the crew a lot more because in the first 3 volumes that I read, it kind of got this feeling like what was really the point of her? Is she just there because she's like a girl? I didn't really understand it, but now that I've read this one, I understand her place a lot more. She's the one that keeps people on track. She's the level-headed one. She's the sneaky thief, which is actually something that I did enjoy about her character. But I imagine everyone that's watching this, if you're, you know, this into One Piece, you're probably also into video games. And I get the feeling that Nami is like the equivalent to a support in a video game. Specifically, I play a lot of League of Legends. I don't know if that's, you know, your jam or not. If you don't play it, I would not recommend starting it because it is slowly killing my soul every day. I hate it, but I'm addicted. But to me, Nami is one of those characters that is all about supporting everyone on the team, but can't really do too much on herself. And when you're playing that character, it can be so frustrating and so just irritating and mind-blowing when, you know, you're trying to like cohesively get everyone to go and do something or do an objective, but they're like spinning in a corner somewhere. Or, you know, in Luffy's case, he was sleeping underneath the boat. And to me, I just really felt and sympathized and empathized with Nami a lot more in this story now that I realized, or now that in my mind I made a connection that she is like the support character that keeps everyone together but can't do anything on her own, in terms of fighting, of course. As for Luffy, I will say that he still hasn't presented to me a weakness yet. Like, when he goes into battle, I have no fear that he's in any real danger at all, because I've seen him be shot, and I thought, okay, his weakness was being, like, cut, being sliced. But he got, like, hit in the head with, like, a saw blade or something, and he was still fine after that. But what I found out, or what I realized about myself, is I don't care that I don't know any of Luffy's weaknesses. There was such a just air of intensity about this butler character that I was kind of glad that I knew that Luffy would be fine. And again, I'll just put that back onto how well that villain was written in this arc, that going into it, I was glad that I knew the hero would be fine because of how just like intense and villainous this character was. And just to touch on his like motivations a little bit more, because I am so thoroughly impressed by it, is his plan was just so phenomenally well thought out. Not for the villain himself, like forget that, but by the author himself to think out that villain's plan was just so phenomenally well done. Like, he fakes his own death, he comes to this house, kills this girl's parents, becomes her like caretaker and butler, says to his crew, come back in like this many years after I've got the town's trust and her trust, and we will hypnotize her, get the will, kill her, And then what he didn't tell them was that he was also going to kill the whole crew that knew his plan all along, so that he could stay in the village and like live there with the respect of the townspeople and all the money. Like, that is such a well thought out and just ridiculously over the top plan. And I am thoroughly impressed by it. Just a couple more things I want to touch on is I was surprised that the kids did not annoy me. Like those 3 kids that are Usopp's pirate crew. It's so easy in stories for kids to just become really annoying. But for me, these kids did not become that level of annoying. They showed a lot of respect, they showed a lot of like courage, and they showed a lot of camaraderie and loyalty by keeping Kaya safe against that Michael Jackson hypnotist guy. And I think that the fact that those kids are so likable makes the emotional goodbye that Usopp has with them all that much better. When he tells the kids, look, I'm disbanding the pirate crew and I'm going off, I've got like, the ocean is calling to me, call me Moana, I'm going off against the ocean. And he says to the kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And one says a writer, and the other one says a bartender, and the other one says a carpenter. And he goes, promise me that you will follow your dreams. Which is something that I loved, and I get a feeling that One Piece is just going to have this like really strong overarching theme of people following their dreams, which is something I'm super on board with. So yeah, basically to sum up this review, I was blown away with how good the villain was. I was so blown away with how much quality time this author put into building this villain. The simple things like from his mannerisms to like the detailed plan that he came up with, and then just showing how like unhinged and just villainous this guy is by killing the other butler, or when he finds Kaya's gift of another pair of glasses, he smashes them on the ground, or that his plan all along was that he was going to kill his whole crew. I was not expecting that at all, and I loved it. I was not expecting the like deep emotional beats that we got from this arc. I wasn't expecting this story to get so serious in that regard. Really thoroughly enjoyed that, and I think that it goes against the like bubblegum, ridiculous absurdity nature of the drawing style or of the world itself. And also with that is I love this like undercurrent of like, I don't want to say like depression, but there's just this like undercurrent of badness in the world, and it just like so well counteracts that goofy style. And I am so on board, and I'm really sincerely looking forward to what comes next. And anyway guys, that is the end of this review. Like I said, I've been reading it online, so it shouldn't take me too long to get the next arc reviewed, now that I no longer have to wait for the library to get me these damn copies. Thank you for watching this far. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment down below, and as always, thank you very much.